Hey guys, welcome back to the Hear Me Roar pod. I am Toby and my co-host is none other than the Kate Save, which you might know her from Shark Tank. She's also founder of BeFit Foods and picked up Telstra's Business of the Year award too. Kate?
Well, Toby, you've got a super impressive CV, 25 years in global commercialisation experience, and you founded Creative Cubes, Australia's leading co-working space and real estate business.
All right, let's get on with the pod.
Welcome, Toby, back to another segment.
Another great episode. Last ep was, like, we've had some phenomenal guests.
Yeah.
And I feel very lucky, and there's a pipeline of guests still to come, and they keep getting bigger and better and all the rest of it. But geez, Aaron Tate, if you didn't listen to the last episode, guys, you need to go look at that one. He was phenomenal.
He was, yes.
What have you been up to this week?
Well, my regular ice baths.
Oh, yeah.
Which we're both enjoying.
Oh, here we go.
And,
I like this.
I was away at a conference for a few days up in Queensland,
Yep.
and it was all health, wellness. It was actually biohacking.
Yeah.
There were so many incredible speakers, so many mind-blowing things to take in. My mind is so blown that I can barely put the words together of some of the things that we heard and saw on this weekend. But
Well, I mean, you and I spoke by phone yesterday driving, and you were still on, dare I say, quite a high from that experience.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And to be there with 3,000 people who are also going through transformation, looking at ways to improve health, and be surrounded by people that want more, want better health, as opposed to our sick care system and people that are just unconscious of health. We were all conscious of health, and it was just a really uplifting place to be.
I actually love that lens, because I think for a long time, and I don't want to say I'm a victim, because that just sounds really bad, but I'm not educated in food, you know, and the dietetics that you are. Yeah, I'm just average Toby, eating to like get to the next thing, right? It's I met with Luke, who you put me onto, and I've got to go back to Luke. I've just been traveling like crazy. I promised Luke I'm coming. I just haven't had my feet on the ground for a minute, and it's going to get more chaotic through November. But I'm not educated, right? And so, unbeknownst to me, I'm damaging myself because, I'll just quickly get that snack, or I'll quickly just have that, or I'll just do this. But Luke said that I was like a Formula One car with no fuel, or lacking the right fuel.
Yes.
That's how he summarized me.
Yeah.
So I love when we get together and I get to learn just a little bit, because outside of you, I'm just average Toby.
Well, today with our guest, you're going to learn a lot more about healing, the healing power of water. So we've got one of the literally world experts with us today. So perhaps we'll go to a break and come back and introduce Charles.
I like that. Guys, I want to introduce you to Rise, a business cohort like no other. So what is the Rise Network? Rise Network is a curated inner circle of 10 to 12 like-minded peers designed to provide a confidential, high-trust environment where business owners and leaders can gain strategic insights, actionable solutions, and lasting relationships. Rise isn't just networking, it's a game-changing business support system. It has strategic problem solving built in, expert facilitation, actionable insights, long-term impact and authentic relationships, and it's based exclusively around high-trust cohorts. For your membership, you gain full access to Creative Cubes. That means you can drop in when you're on the run to use the meeting rooms, breakout spaces, or even just dock in for the day. We wanted to serve the underserved, the people that do need the help, do need the support, don't necessarily have the funds to be able to do it, and don't necessarily fit into one of these other organizations. And so that's where Rise kind of came from. So there you have it, guys. Go to werise.au, and I hope to see you at one of our cohorts soon.
Welcome, Charles. Such a pleasure to have you in the studio today.
Great to be here, Kate and Toby.
Thank you. Water.
Yeah.
I got a fun fact for you, and then we'll get on to you. I only drink water. I don't drink tea. no coffee, barely had any alcohol in my body, period. The first time I had alcohol was at my bachelor party because my groomsmen were like, this is going to be a drag. He doesn't even drink. I was like, load me up, boys. And that was at 27. I'm 45 now. Haven't really enjoyed alcohols at all. Used to drink a bit of soda until I had kidney issues. And now, not now, probably for the last decade, only water. Exclusively only water. Not intentionally, it's just the best thing for me.
Wow, waters ain't just waters. There's many different types of water, which will
Really?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I know salt water and chlorinated water.
But even fresh waters, it depends on the mineral composition of your water. What's in it? You know, do you get mineral water, or do you have straight tap water, which is pure rainwater with some chlorination, and some sanitation that does go into it. So, you know, really understanding what's in your water.
It's fascinating. I lived in Los Angeles for a decade, and down near Marina Del Rey, just a little bit further south in the South Bay, is these desalination plants. And I never really understood or thought about it, because Australia, you can be in the shower and you can open your mouth and have a gulp of water and it's totally fine. But in other parts of the world, it was specifically in Southern California, I lived off bottled water because the water wasn't great out of the faucet.
It's one of the biggest carriers of disease. It can be dysentery and other things, which is just from contaminated water. And you know, you've got to be really aware of what you put in, even if it is just pure water.
I'm not sure that it's just pure water, right? So
Tell
this
us
is
about
fascinating.
Yeah, well, Charles is a world-class speaker on bathing, and you spoke recently in the Canary Islands, or was that last year?
No,
or
that was earlier this year. End of
Yeah.
last year was in Scotland at the Global Wellness Summit.
There we go.
Wow.
Yeah.
And tell us about your area of healing through water.
Specifically, my area is hot springs.
Yes.
So it's that element of water where people are bathing in the water. But many hot springs around the world, particularly in Europe, people drink the water as well. So there's a cure programs that are based on the mineral compositions of the water, which varies from various wells. So, for example, a place like Karlovy Vary, which is in the Czech Republic, that's got, you go on walks around the village and you go from well to well to well on a prescribed program where you're walking and drinking the waters. And that's for specific needs, and doctors actually prescribe you on programs.
Wow.
But my primary area of interest is in the bathing element of water. And of course, I come from Peninsula Hot Springs. I was involved in the establishment of Peninsula Hot Springs and have been running down this path of thermal bathing for 33 years, 32 years.
Not just involved, literally was digging it up. You were boring
so I'm
through the
fascinated.
ground. 300 metres?
637 on the first
There
one.
we go.
Yeah, so I'm fascinated. I've been there, and I think I'm coming out to see you.
Which will be great.
Yeah,
Looking
which
forward to it.
I'm very much looking forward to. Is the environment, is this all stuff that's just you're pulling it out of the ground, or are you guys doing something special to make it feel like it's coming out of the ground?
No, look, it is purely coming out of the ground. Now, it depends on which spring. So our group has a few different springs. We've got one in Maria Hot Springs in New Zealand.
Okay.
And that's been flowing out of the base of a mountain for hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of years.
Wow.
And you're literally bringing the water that flows out of the side of the mountain into hot pools. At Peninsula Hot Springs, we have drilled down 600 metres to get where the water is, and then the water under its own pressure comes up to within 9 metres of the surface, and we pump it from there.
Yeah, amazing.
But we don't do anything to it. It's
Sure,
literally
sure.
pure heat. It's 54 degrees down the bottom. By the time it gets to the top, it cools down a little bit, and it's 46.2, and it's been like that for 20 years.
When I think about rolling out sites, you know, I've got to just find an office block that I think I can add value to. You have to, like, is this environment beneath us all? Or is this certain, like, peninsula, like, is it specific to the peninsula?
Look, it is specific to certain locations, but look, they say that if you drill down deep enough, you'll find water.
So you could put one in
But-
South Melbourne.
You could potentially do it there, but they have things called basins where you're getting to a solid rock basin, and in our area it's 637 metres, and why we stopped at that depth is where we hit the basalt basin. Right. Once you go through that, you're going through a much harder, non-porous rock formation, but you can get right through that and then you'll get into something else. So you can go down kilometres and kilometres. It's just hugely expensive. And operate and maintain, it's difficult. So, the best springs are ones without any boring, just coming straight out of the ground.
Like Maruia?
Like Maruia Hot Springs,
And I must say, that's the most spectacular place I've ever seen. And you've seen a lot of places.
In New Zealand?
South Island. Yeah, near Christchurch.
Yeah, wow.
So
2 hours into the middle of a national park, completely isolated. There is nothing.
Sorry, did we say we were going to go on a podcast, take the podcast on the road? What?
A retreat. Yes.
Oh, we are? Okay, Just confirming.
Spectacular. And so what are the properties of bathing in water that makes it so good for us?
I was talking previously about the minerals and that the fact that like you wear a patch. A doctor can give you a patch for taking morphine uptake or whatever it is that you're having. When you lie in a hot mineral bath, your body is, and your skin is your largest organ.
Yes.
So you are literally absorbing the minerals in the water that your body needs. Yes. Sort of an osmotic effect.
We were just in Fiji.
Yeah.
My girls, I got 2 little girls and my wife, and we were in the ocean.
Yeah.
And I kept saying to them, the minerals, and I had a bung toe, and it's my skin's cleaned up, or over it, and they used to they were taking the piss out of me every day, like, oh, Dad, we're in the minerals.
No, but you're right on.
Go, seriously, this is amazing, and also the kinetic energy from the sand, and I mean, you know about it more than I. I'm just hocus pocus sort of style with my kids on it, but it's legit, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's like our waters at Peninsula Hot Springs, but every water is different, so you get it analysed. So you get it analysed at a laboratory. Ours it's classified as the sodium chloride bicarbonate spring, but it's got high levels of potassium, magnesium, boron, selenium, calcium, all of these minerals which are really good for you, and everyone knows a lot about magnesium.
Yes.
I want magnesium salts in my pools, or I want potassium salts in our pools. We have it naturally in the water that comes up, and it hasn't changed over the
How long do you have to be in there to kind of get an absorbed effect?
It actually doesn't have to be that long. The longer the better in some ways, but then it's not so good for your skin if you're under water for too long. Yeah. But really, I was going to say that is one element of the healing, and there's a whole science behind it. And doctors in Europe will study balneology, which is the science of water and healing, and they can advise specifically, prescribe certain springs that you should bathe in for certain conditions. At our place, I think the biggest thing that is important is about stress management. It's about relaxation. It's about socialisation, being together with friends. So it's really being in a buoyant environment. So once you're in water, you are naturally buoyant. So you're taking pressure off your joints. You can do other activities, and in fact the design of our place has specifically been around encouraging people going from pool to pool to pool. So we have about 70 plus different bathing experiences. That includes saunas and other things, but we spread it out deliberately so people wander through nature. They go from pool to pool, and they're actually exercising, but it's nearly subliminal. They don't realise that it's adventure exercise, and they undertake a whole lot of different activities. So you can go from hot-cold, which is sort of the sauna contrast therapies, hot pool, cold pool, hot sauna, cold pool.
Yeah, I've been to your facilities. We have a family home in Portsea, and sometimes we'll come on a Saturday night.
Lovely.
And do the night bathing with the girls, and they love it. They love jumping into the hot, and you've got different pools at different temperatures, right?
Yes, yeah. Lots of.
Well, one of the most spectacular nights that I've had at the hot springs was Charles's 60th birthday, and the 20-year anniversary of
20th
the hot
anniversary,
springs?
We nearly share the birthday.
Wow.
I'm on the 27th of June, and the hot springs was the 28th. So
that's good.
20 years ago, I was turning 40, and it was a very tough time because we were launching the following day. And so I literally was taken away with the family to go to the Flinders Hotel.
Yes.
And I sat on a couch like this one and fell asleep. I was just exhausted. I mean, in the lead up to the launch of a major launch, as you know very well.
Yeah.
But 20 years later, 500,000 people a year we receive, and
Wow.
and it's growing and getting better, and the industry's grown. It's emerged from nothing to something.
Yeah, I think it's at it's a rocket ship at the moment in terms of education and awareness. So I mean, we've talked about this thousands of times, and I apologize to the listeners, but like I've been saunering and icing for now nearly 6 months, 3 times a week. And I was always an athlete, always like hitting the gym and running and doing vigorous exercises and playing basketball and doing a whole bunch of things. And I was always fit and healthy. But actually, I've never felt healthier being exposed to red light, sauna for 45 minutes, 3 times a week, jumping in the ice bath for 4.5 minutes. I felt like the history of being healthy was more external, and the current version of me feeling healthy is actually inside all the way out versus just the shell. And so there's been a lot of education, thanks to people like yourself, but there's been a lot of education around the benefits.
Yeah.
What
and
else?
It's taken off. I mean, literally, there are hot springs all over the country that have opened or are opening or under construction. You've got bathhouses all throughout the country as well, which are opening up. Nearly every week we hear another one nearly. So that culture of bathing, which has been one of the big goals for us, and from the outset was to say, look, we want people to be able to enjoy this on a regular basis because it is so cathartic. It is so good for stress management, and some of the big societal issues we have is about the connection, social connection, as well as looking after your body at the same time. So,
but you also do it very differently at Peninsula Hot Springs to other springs because you've got that Indigenous culture aspect. You've got it's immersed in nature, so it's so much more for the senses than just pools and ice baths. It's a very different
So
experience.
we had the privilege of having what's her name from Port's Sorrento Hotel? Lyndall. I always get it wrong.
Lyndall Mitchell.
Yeah. Very different experience, right?
Yeah.
Hers is in a posh hotel space, whereas yours is outdoors in nature. To your point, you go from pool to pool on a path whilst outside. Very, very different.
Yeah, and that Indigenous connection is not just honouring sort of an Aboriginal culture, which we do, but that's done not in it. It's more really honouring nature itself.
Yes.
And being Indigenous is actually being part of nature. So it's not, part of the culture is the human element, which is the habit of bathing. It's doing the daily hot cold. It's doing, but trying to do it in our space, we used the local rocks. So when we were digging dams, we found limestone. We said, dam, let's use that. And so we built our streams and our landscape features with what we had on the site. We've built rammed earth on the site. So some of our change rooms and buildings made with rammed earth using the earth from the site.
Yeah, amazing.
And we've only planted local Indigenous plants. In fact, most of them have been propagated on the site using seeds from the site.
And there's edible plants on the site as well. In the
totally. We have a food bowl. We have a food bowl, which is around education as much as production. We do a little bit of production there, but the size that you need for 500,000 people and the amount of food and food offerings we have, we use it as much for education, food education, as we do for nutrition and client eating.
And like you talked about your dome experience and getting away for a weekend, the Hot Springs has the glamping experience as well. So that's
you've got an amphitheatre there as well, right?
We've got a bathing amphitheatre, so it's got 7 pools and you can lie in one of the 7 pools that look down over some terraces over a small creek.
Yes.
And then we have a stage, so you can listen to music there. You can watch we have bathe-in activation, so you can watch movies on some nights. And when we're doing things like NAIDOC Week celebrations, which is when we specifically celebrate culture, and coming up very shortly, we have Diwali, which is an Indian culture, and then we have Lunar New Year, and we do, the Greek culture. So we actually have been celebrating at different times of the year, different cultures.
Yes.
And the amphitheatre is our primary location.
Yes.
Where we do, music and those storytellings.
And you've also got, I guess, for people that haven't been there before, there's all this beautiful wellness, but then there's the luxury of the spa house and having private pools, having treatments, having massages, all those sorts of things. So,
Accommodation as well, right?
accommodation, yeah, pretty spectacular. I must say, when I met Charles over a decade ago now, I felt like you were the Walt Disney, because you had this great big board in this tiny little portable that was not air conditioned that we're in. You're drawing all over the board this map, and you're like, and this is where we're going to put this and this and this, and none of it was there. And then you took me on a walk for 2 hours till it was dark and we couldn't see where we were going. We were tripping over through the swamp, because it's a swampy area. Had to take my high heels off to walk through, and then you're like, go over this log, and so off I go. And you explained what was in your head and what you were seeing and what you were going to build, and it's all there except the water slides in the side of the mountain. But
but we weren't going to do that actually on our site. It was going to be on a site next door.
there we go.
So the idea of, it's just different energetics. Water slides and young kids who need to run, they need to get exhausted, and the parents need to relax. We wanted that to be on a different site, because that high energy isn't what you want at a relaxation destination. So
So Charles, you wake up every day. What's your day job, if you still have one?
I'm one of the directors at the Hot Springs, but I'm really one of the creative directors or new concept development. So
you're
right
still
at the
in
moment, my biggest thing that's jumping into my mind is our food bowl, and we're redesigning our food bowl to become a bathing and wellness destination. So we're putting in, instead of having the stage where we were looking at having larger events, we're actually now looking at being able to bring bathing in and soothing, quiet, in fact, possibly even making it a silent bathing zone. So you have pools, you have saunas, you'll have cold plunges, you'll have private individual tubs where you can fill the bath just for yourself. You literally pull the plug, but in a public zone. And you can just lie back, but you're looking up at the amphitheatre. So it's like a very Greek or Roman amphitheatre design. But literally our guests will be all on the stage bathing and relaxing.
Amazing.
And other guests up in the property, up on the other areas, will have saunas and other pools there as well. So people really quite enjoy being in that social space. When you're lying in a pool, you'll be seeing people bathing and going through their routine, and you'll be able to pick up ideas from other people, and everyone's learning from each other, which is what we try and do. And it's exactly what we're doing today, is trying to learn from each other by doing interviews and asking and watching and learning.
Totally.
Something else that I thought was really amazing is you did, on the anniversary, there was a tour and we had the headsets on, and we walked around the entire property for 30 minutes, and there were so many stories, and I think that part of the experience really opened my eyes a lot further about everything we've talked about from the benefits today, but the history and the history of the land, and the creation of all of this, and imagination, and it was incredible. I think that there's so much more to it for people who haven't been there. Yeah, very worthwhile.
My kids and I love it. Genuinely, we're not frequent users, but we've had guests come and hang out with us down in Portsea, and friends. And what do you want to do? Go over to the Hot Springs and let's have a night of it.
It's one of those places, particularly where you want to catch up with friends, visiting friends and relatives markets, as they'd say in the sort of tourism sector. But for visitors, if you've got friends coming over and you don't necessarily want to go to the pub and just carry on and drink, you can lie in a hot pool, and it's the best place to chill out in nature, relax with your friend, and suddenly you're finding you're in deep conversations, catching up with loved ones and old friends, and in a beautiful, relaxed space. So,
And what's next for you, Charles?
Well, as I was saying, all the recreation of our place, so bringing in a number of new experiences, trying to create a silent zones, as I was talking about, possibly on the stage, but a couple of other locations. There's a lot of people who are saying, a little bit busy, or you're hearing people talk and you really want that. And so we've been listening to our guests and our feedback, and we're going to be creating a number of spaces where people can really just bliss out in nature and just be.
Yeah, I think it's so important. You get such a recharge from doing that, and unplug, let the environment take you away, switch your brain off if that's even possible to do, but have a crack at trying to switch it off and just be in the moment and be present. It's a really challenging thing, but if you can get there, and I actually get there 3 times a week, not to your place, but I get to that moment. The sauna for me, the phone goes off and it doesn't come in. And that's 45 minutes of just quiet time, thinking time. And it's been so powerful for me. I'm living in a chaotic environment. Yeah. We're growing like crazy at the moment, which is a good thing, but it's equally dangerous, scary, and a whole bunch of other emotions that I am incapable of describing. But the importance that I place on the stuff that you're hyper-focused on is actually the difference between literally drowning and being able to get through.
Yeah, I totally agree. In fact, I've joined you at a home level that I've just installed last week, a sauna at home. Oh. And suddenly the swimming pool, which we've got, I've turned off the solar heating, and it's my cold plunge pool. And I've literally been using it nearly every day. Yep. I mean, it's the beginning excitement. I think it's going to end up being every couple of times a week. Yep. Yeah. But you're doing it with family, so it's actually you can do it by yourself. But then, and I'm diving in the cold pool. Yeah. I haven't used the pool for years. Yeah. So I've got this water body that sits at home, and you're going, when do I use it? Yeah. To now being part of your health routine.
I thought about that because my wife gets a little bit annoyed with me. Annoyed's not the right word, but I go at 6:30 at night to the sauna, and she's like, "That's our time. Like that's the family time." I'm like, "You're right, but actually, like I can do 7:30 with you all the way through to 9:30, but I just need that hour." And so I thought maybe I'll install a sauna at home, and we can go 6:30 to 7:30 together. And then the argument is, but you love going to the sauna. Like, let someone else manage it and take care of it. And I do. So it sort of was a dead conversation for us. But
if you start to look at the Swedish and the Nordic cultures, the sauna is the heart of society. It's actually where people often had children. You actually gave childbirth. They'd bring bodies after death where they put them in there for not having it on. They're not cooking them, and the sauna's not on when you're having your childbirth. But it's a safe environment, and it's healthy because of the heat and so forth. It doesn't have all the bacteria. It doesn't have. I mean, there's logic in why they do that, but it's actually the centre of family life. And so multiple generations will all be saunaing together, and it's something you can do together. That's if you do it at home. Now, I totally see that the purpose of going to the local sauna and meeting other people and just having your own time. Yeah,
this one that I go to is private. Yeah. So you have the sauna for yourself for 45 minutes.
Okay.
It's really clean.
So you could be doing it at home.
No, I absolutely could. I love the business of what it is. Yes. I really do love the business.
And supporting business
and actually where I go, I've got a bit of a tie to the founder, and I'm coaching and mentoring and advising and supporting them as they launch this thing. But equally, I'm benefiting from it as a customer and a participant. And I get on the treadmill every day, like 6 days a week, but sauna and ice is sort of like 3 days a week. And I'd love to do more, but then I think this is actually quite manageable. And it's the consistency of it.
What does the science tell us? What in terms of saunaing?
Hot cold?
Yeah.
If you speak to good friends of mine like Professor Mark Cohen, well, he would say it's a daily ritual. He's actually got some songs he's created about the bathing ritual, and it's making sure if you have a shower, you can do it like this. You don't have to go sauna and extreme hot, extreme cold, but you can have your hot shower. Yeah. You turn your hot tap off and do that for the last minute.
Yes.
And if you can do that, that helps with your body flow. I mean, it's just it helps blood flow, it helps circulation, it helps mind alertness.
Yes, it does.
I mean, the science has been incredible how powerful it is by stressing your body a little bit for a short amount of time.
Hormesis.
Yeah, so Kate, I read, you can validate or disqualify, 20 minutes of sauna 4 to 6 times a week is like amazing. For me, I'm 45 minutes 3 times a week, so I'm actually getting more minutes than the 20, but that's what works for me.
Yeah, and I think regular habits,
Yes.
and even 3 times a week is good.
Yes.
You know, like it as long as it's regular.
Yes.
You know, and I think that's like anything in life. It's eating well, it's exercising, it's doing it in binges doesn't work.
Yeah, I think it took me about 8 weeks to really acclimate to the change internally. Like I would go and go, all right, kind of like what Aaron was saying in our last episode, nothing's happening. But then after 8 weeks, I was on a trip for a week and I was like, oh, wow, I think I need this again, because I didn't realize the inflammation in my knuckles and stuff has come down quite dramatically. So I've definitely noticed a difference, and now I'm just religious about it.
And sleeping makes a huge difference, doesn't it? Do you find that?
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
I mean, the first night that I sauntered at home when we first got it, and I literally went to sleep at maybe 10:30, which is quite early for me actually.
Yeah.
And I didn't wake up until 7:30.
Wow.
Which is huge. I mean, I usually never sleep that long. And
Uninterrupted
It was
sleep.
just uninterrupted.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah, it's deep.
You know, like I'm usually a 5-6 hour
Yeah,
a
me
day
too.
person, but then to get that extra, my body was needing it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
It unlocks it, right? Like I feel like we're so, I speak for myself, I'm so wound up. And so like we're going through a quite a significant and we're going through a massive passage right now at Cubes. We're about to really put the foot on the pedal, and that looks great from the exterior, but I'm not on the exterior. I'm in the engine room powering this thing every day, and the stress and the spasming of my muscles just from tension, not intentionally, but just indirect around getting an email that creates elevated stresses, right? Or the opposite. And so this has just helped me bring myself back to a balance. And then as a result, when I get into bed at night, I'm clear-minded and I fade away, and it's the best sleep. It's great.
Well, a little bit more focus on food as well, it sounds like, but you've got family.
We're working on that.
It sounds like you've got
Yeah,
good
working on
family
that.
focus, and then the health focus in terms of some good habits,
Yeah.
exercise you're doing as well. I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds like you've got it pretty well balanced.
Yeah, no, it is the hypertension, and I say that not clinically, but the hypertension in my body around some of the deals and stuff that we're going through. There's some big news about to break, and but it hasn't come without like hustle. And for a long time, I've said this to my chairman every board meeting: the scoreboard doesn't represent the work that's gone in, but just bear with me. Just bear with me. Bear with me.
You're exactly the same, aren't you? It took years and years for it to become what you built.
It was gradual, step by step, pool by pool. I mean, we started literally with nothing.
Yep.
Our dream, and like putting a deposit on a house, but we put it on the hot springs, and then we've grown every customer. I call it growing one bath at a time, because that's all you can do.
Sure.
You can only do what you can do. And
Mate, 20 years.
20 years, well, of operation. It was another 8 years before then, from when we started to.
Gosh.
So it was 28 years.
So a wise woman once said, it took me 50 years to be an overnight success.
Yeah.
28, right? Like it takes time.
Yeah.
Cubes has been going for nearly 10 years.
Yeah.
Nearly 10
we're
years.
11 years. You 10 and a half, BFIT. It's just, long way to go. 28 years.
Yeah, well, it's eternal, and that's why I was always been focusing on the culture of bathing. And I see success is when places like Alba Thermal Springs next door opens up. It's when other,
That's interesting because
Meechung Hot Springs opens, other hot springs are opening, and other bathhouses all opening. I see that as a measure of us being part of this cultural evolution.
well, the pie's growing, right?
Yeah, and more people are bathing, more people are doing it. So it means once people get into healthy habits, if you're in the business of healthy habits, like eating good food or creating good space where people work and live, or work particularly, then you are at the vanguard of change, and it's positive change.
Totally.
It's what people should be doing.
I can speak for myself. I want more co-working spaces to be opened in my brand, but also not from me, because that means that, you know, we're kind of helping each other. The pool, that the total addressable market is expanding, and our goal is always to be the best. So let the pool grow. There's going to be a clear leader, you know, or a couple of brands that kind of are at the top of the game, and you want to be one of them.
And how do you weave in that environment, like you do so well here? Good food, and then, you know, how do you link in with other opportunities of health and well-being and exercise, and whether it's the local sauna places like you were talking about, but some of these habits that you can tie in, and then you're helping people.
That's right. Creating
those great habits. So, you know, it's great to see coming in here. It's really inspiring to see.
Likewise, and you can look me up in the system. I genuinely come to your space. It's a fantastic experience, and again, we come as a family, and we do it all together. And hopefully, I'm threading the mind of my kids with positivity by doing this and understanding. Like we used to, before I now go to the local ice and sauna place at the end of my street, but I used to get you know those big bottles of water that you go to a party and you decant your cup underneath.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I used to buy
the camping ones.
Yeah, I used to put 2 of those in my freezer, and they become big ice blocks. And I would fill the bath up
and put them in the bath. Oh, that's clever.
And my kids and I would ice bath. I could never get it down.
Clever.
I could never get it down to a low enough temperature, but the girls got into it. They really got into it.
Wow, amazing. Huh.
I know, word of a lie.
So good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And so the girls would get into it, and I hope that there's me in my underpants. I'd hope that you know, it just, again, positive. Yeah. I think we can, like I told my kids I want to live to 150. I've downgraded that to 144 just to be on brand. But 44 is a big number for me. But I think it's possible. I think you helping educate the world in the stuff that you do, and others also doing stuff, you with your nutrition. If we have the right stuff coming in and we're surrounded by the right people and the right environments that we're immersing ourselves into, 100 doesn't seem like it feels like we can go longer than that.
It all comes down to quality of life, doesn't it? I mean, you know, and that's where that social, I mean, food is a social thing. Working in a co-working space, you are in a more community environment. And the same with us. Our focus hasn't been the solo experience. While you can have it, it's not the focus. The focus is actually the community experience.
Community, right.
And one of my favourite experiences to see is when a young mother comes in with her baby and she's there with her mother and her grandmother.
Yes.
And when you see the mother handing the baby to the great-grandmother, and you've got 4 generations of a family all in an experience they can do together, and you can almost feel the love. It's almost palpable. And, you know, that multi-generational cultural experience is profound. And it happens around food, and it can happen around that bathing environment if it's allowed to be.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for
amazing.
taking the time to come up here and spend some time. I look forward to meeting up with you at your place next and learning more about your vision. Charles private messaged me about some opportunities that he sees. So I look forward to, can we go back into the non-air conditioned shed and do some whiteboard? It sounds like it's a winning formula.
That's exactly where we need to be.
Guys, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to link all of the details in the show notes. Charles, the hot springs, everything. Just click And if you're in the area, I highly, highly recommend it. I also recommend going via St Andrew's Brewery, who happen to be my next door neighbours, but literally they live next door to me here in Melbourne. So hot springs, go around the corner, St Andrew's Brewery, makes a great day out. You don't have to have alcohol, but good food, great environment. You been to St Andrew's Brewery?
Love it.
Good,
yes,
right?
I've
The
had some
stables?
birthdays there. It's
Yeah.
great for the kids. They
Yeah.
can run around. Good
Yeah,
community.
Yeah. So guys, back in the notes, all is there for you. We'll be back after this break from Luna. Luna.co is a great place for you and your business to start off with phenomenal accounting and legal services. So if you're a startup or a scale-up looking for legal and finance support, or alternatively looking to raise capital, Luna.co is where you need to be starting off.
Amazing. Kate.
Amazing, right?
Yeah. So restorative to have a conversation where it is actually about wellness and living better.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
We were mid-conversation and it dawned on me, Charles has been in my inbox. I'm going to go see him. He has this vision and he's shown up here today on the pod thanks to you. It's really awesome.
What a great meeting. Take your bathers and good.
Totally. I actually wanted a soundbite of Charles saying, kids, Dad was right. The minerals in the water, it's
yes.
going to help your skin, with your hair, with everything.
Do you know what I didn't say out loud, but it crossed my mind the whole time was, if our skin is absorbing all of these incredible minerals, what's happening when we're in the local chlorinated pool doing swimming lessons? I sort of want to blank that out because that's quite terrifying.
Well, I don't go into those things.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah.
I've got a pool at home, which, it's got a level of chemical in it to keep the pH levels right. But I'm an ocean guy. I love the ocean. I love the sand in the toes as you're walking out and wading out in the ocean. I mean, you're a plunger in the bay.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing I was thinking about, with the minerals being absorbed through the skin, right? It's not often we think about nutrition through the skin, right?
Sure.
We coat ourselves in poisonous, cheap things, whatever it might be from the supermarket, but to think that the skin's our largest organ, it's constantly absorbing things. And I think I've told you maybe in the past that I work on the background of a TV show, Alone, the Alone television show where they put people out and they need to survive.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, in that show, so my specific role is to keep people alive when they come out of Alone, because they're there for weeks, months, 100 and something days, I think is the longest. Right. And like when they come out of the war, if you refeed someone too quickly, they die.
Sure.
So we have a whole medical team, we manage all of that. Now, thinking about the minerals, the number one thing that we're thinking about is their electrolytes, sodium, potassium, magnesium, and the fact that they could go and bathe and maybe absorb some of this in water. I wonder,
100%.
These people are not sick, they're well, they're just malnourished, whereas in a hospital setting, we'd actually put an IV drip in them and feed them a solution for this. But to think that well people could actually be maybe absorbing some of this through the water.
So my mom, I've got a huge love for magnesium because we talked about, my body being in spasm and this and that. It actually manifested itself in my back. I didn't have a bulging disc or a ruptured whatever that some people diagnosed me with. I actually was just in spasm because I didn't have enough magnesium in my system. And tell my mum this after working it out for myself, by the way. And she says, Tobes, I use magnesium shower soap.
Yeah, right. Okay.
That's how I maintain my magnesium. I was like, amazing. I am challenging you to find us someone in the sunscreen.
I've got one.
They need to come on the pod.
I've got one. I'll
because
bring them in.
I actually think,
and they've been in the media very recently with the whole inquiry with sunscreens and
I think it's poisoning
the
our skin.
SPF.
Yeah.
SPF.
Yeah. I want to have a frank, heart-to-heart conversation. Not I'm going to swing at them or anything, but I was just in Fiji and I used a mineral sun cream.
Yeah, the zinc base.
Zinc base. And my wife was laughing at me and the kids were laughing at me. And I'm like, guys, that stuff is trash. Don't put that stuff on your skin. Use
It's the
it.
same thing as deodorant. Think of the,
Right.
the average deodorant. You're putting it under your arms where you absorb it all. What are you putting under there? Yeah, crazy. For another episode.
Another episode. All right, guys. Thanks a lot.